On the night of November 29, 2013, Glasgow's Clutha Vaults pub was buzzing. Inside, more than 100 people had gathered to listen to a live ska band. Laughter, music, conversation, the kind of ordinary joy that marks weekday evenings. No one expected what was coming next. Just after 10:20 p.m., a police helicopter, returning to base, veered off course. With terrifying suddenness, it crashed through the roof of the pub. In one devastating moment, lives were destroyed and the city was stunned.
The helicopter was a Eurocopter EC-135, operated by Bond Air Services under contract to Police Scotland. It carried a pilot and 2 police observers. After executing a series of tasks around the city, it was returning home when both engines flamed out. It fell at high vertical speed, embedding itself in the roof of the Clutha pub. The structure collapsed under the impact, trapping patrons and crew alike. The pub's walls gave way. Timbers cracked. Glass shattered. Within minutes, the bustling night turned into chaos. 3 crew members aboard the helicopter died instantly. On the ground, the impact claimed 7 more lives among pubgoers. Dozens more were wounded, some critically, and many remained trapped under debris.
Emergency services poured in. Firefighters, paramedics, police, they rushed into the wreckage. Over 125 firefighters scoured the collapse, navigating collapsed timbers, smoke, and unstable eaves. They worked under the constant threat of further collapse. Ambulances arrived. Victims, many bleeding, were pulled out with borrowed hands. Some survivors were carried across rooftops, others slid from smashed windows. Nearby hotels became refuge centers. Medical teams triaged the injured, fighting to keep lives alive while the structure teetered above. CCTV, radar, police radio logs, every piece of evidence became a thread to the who, what, and why of that night.
Investigators from the Air Accidents Investigation Branch, AIB, launched an exhaustive probe. Their findings were chilling. The engines had flamed out one after another, not from mechanical breakdown, but from fuel starvation. The helicopter had usable fuel in its main tank, but engineering controls required that fuel be transferred from that main tank to supply tanks for engine use. Both fuel transfer pumps had been switched off. Despite repeated low fuel warnings, the pilot continued the flight beyond prescribed time limits. And with both engines silent, no successful auto-rotation or emergency landing was achieved. In the final report, the AIB cited main cause, fuel starvation due to the fuel transfer pumps being off. Contributory factors, failure to land within required time, inadequate visual and height cues once systems failed. Additional concerns, lack of voice recorder, inconsistent fuel readings, and insufficient emergency cues. A fatal accident inquiry later judged that the crash could have been prevented had emergency procedures been followed.
The Clutha pub reopened in 2015 as a memorial and symbol of survival. On anniversaries, the city pauses. Names are read aloud. Candles flicker. Families of victims continue to challenge findings they see as incomplete or unfair. Some believe more design flaws contributed. Others question whether the pilot's choices should be judged harshly under extreme conditions. In Glasgow, the crash remains a wound and a warning. For aviation. For life. For the fragile thread that separates safety from catastrophe.
Always heed system warnings. Emergency checklists exist for a reason. Design must support decline in crashes, backup systems, and clarity matter. Lives depend on vigilance in even routine flights. On that night, people gathered for music and company. But fate had other plans. The sky failed them. The earth swallowed them. And time stopped in the Clutha.